Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 2021 Co-op Career Mode Season 4 with me, Dan, and my co-commentator, Nick. Graphics, as always, provided by Lom1138 and Matt Amos. As we come to Round 8 today in Austria, Spielberg with the Red Bull Ring. Of course, the Red Bull team will be hoping to be starting on the front row and hopefully converting that into a 1-2 finish. Of course, we are halfway through the season now, so plenty of time for everyone else to try and catch up as Red Bull are once again dominating, and we'll have to see who can win out of George Russell and Lando Norris. In the meantime, don't forget to like the video, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and comment down below what was your highlight of today's Grand Prix. I'm sure there's going to be some in here. Let's take a look at the starting grid order for today's race. And unfortunately, it's not Red Bull, but Lewis Hamilton on the front row in his Mercedes, followed by Lando Norris in second. Then it's back to Daniel Ricciardo in the other Mercedes and George Russell in the final Red Bull in fourth. Once again, Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc start P5 and P6. And behind them, it's Yuki Tsunoda and Guan Yu Zhou in the Ferrari and the McLaren. And then rounding out the top 10, we have Esteban Ocon on Radiant Slothz of his best qualifying, putting him into the top 10. Then it's Pierre Gasly in the first of the AlphaTauris alongside Max Verstappen. Behind them, Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin and Nicholas Latifi in the other AlphaTauri. Then it's Justin Freshbot in the first of the Haas's with another good qualifying alongside Valtteri Bottas. Sergio Perez picks up an engine penalty in his Alpine starting P17. He's alongside Nikita Mazepin. And finally on the back row, it's Mick Schumacher and Antonio Giovinazzi.
Austria,
Lands
Justin Freshbot 15th
of the leader,
a great driver.
Radiant Sloth's P10 because of someone's
start
penalty.
for Lewis Hamilton.
An incredible start. Absolutely nothing's happened. Radiant Sloth's at the inside of Pierre Gasly, nearly rear ends Esteban Ocon. Justin Freshbot up to 12th in the Haas. He's alongside Max Verstappen and Pierre Gasly.
He's too slow.
He's incredibly so. Radiant Sloth's at the inside of a Ferrari and an Alpine at the same time. He's pushed them wide. He's on the soft tyres. Justin Freshbot loses out. We're on board with him now, chasing down an AlphaTauri.
Will we see a move around the outside?
Pierre Gasly, potential future world champion. Who knows? As they come round, this is the start for Radiant Sloth's. Also, my voice is still kind of gone, so this should be an interesting race.
Loses a lot of time off the grid.
As always. Retakes.
Back up the inside, almost rear ends an Alpine. Corner cuts, and we'll probably see a track extend.
Although there won't be a track extend because he pushed Perez or Ocon off the edge of the track, so there was nowhere for him to track extend. Or maybe a small corner cut.
That's illegal. Radiant Sloth's disqualified from the race.
This is Justin of Freshbot.
The greatest driver of all time. An incredible start.
A great start, but they Aston Martin much faster than the Haas. He goes around the outside. He actually stayed on the track. Not given
much room. He loses the drag race against the Williams.
Verstappen
slots in behind. Thinks about a move up the inside. Verstappen brakes very early.
Ferrari nearly turns in.
Takes it carefully, but Gasly crashes into him. And then cuts him up for good measure.
Shocking behaviour from the French man. Angry that he's only been able to complete like one of the French Grand Prix so far. As we go on board,
Freshbot again.
He's being chased by Lance Stroll, another potential world champion of the future. As he comes round, he's been in this situation before, under attack from an Aston Martin on the approach to a DRS straight. He's up this his contact.
Lance Stroll's hit the Haas.
Massive track extend for Justin Freshbot.
Nothing he could do with the contact.
This is
Radiant Sloth's here. Corner cut, track extend. Disgraceful.
He is under attack from Esteban Ocon, a man who is known to be French illegally. And he keeps it just on the track by a hair's width. Unfortunately, Esteban Ocon will get DRS for a second time. But it's okay because we've got a DRS train forming and he's on the soft tyre, which is helping him quite a lot here.
Justin Freshbot, will Lance Stroll go through the same move? He doesn't. Justin Freshbot on the racing line there, not a track extend. He's under big pressure here.
We ride on board the ass end of his car. Lance Stroll moving into position. A small track extend.
But within the regulations. Coming up the hill now.
Here
will
comes
Lance Stroll look for a move?
He's gone to the outside. Justin Freshbot defends.
The Aston Martin crashed into the Haas.
He bounces off of him like some kind of balloon. He's still going though. Lance Stroll with no damage. It was just a small wheel bang. Somehow kept it together and is now just going to tailgate Justin Freshbot until he pulls over and gives him his insurance details. This was the moment.
Slightly wide from the Haas there. No front end on that car. No turning. There's Lance Stroll about to crash into the Haas, as is almost customary by this point. Justin Freshbot driving a straight line.
And there's the
Lance
contact.
Stroll just drives into the side of him.
The Haas at this point becoming the new punching bag since Daniel Ricciardo's actually been able to finish some of these races in the top 10.
Very wide out of the last corner. Under pressure still from Ocon.
Going defensive. Bit of a small track extend. The Alfa Romeo completely out of its depth up against all of these cars. His teammate Valtteri Bottas in last behind Sergio Perez.
Measure from the Alfa Romeo.
The Alpine in pursuit. Radiant Slothz still not under threat just yet. Into the braking zone for turn whatever corner. This has gone wide. He's coming back onto the track. Yuki Tsunoda has crashed into him. He smashes his front wing off. And he's getting in the way of Radiant Slothz, who nearly rear ends the Japanese man. I said Japanese man.
From the co-commentator.
He's holding up.
Another track extend.
Pierre Gasly. He's lost 5 minutes to Radiant Slothz through that corner. This was the onboard. And lock-up just sent him deep.
Very wide there. Drives dangerously back onto the track and hits the Ferrari. Disgraceful, really. It's the only word you could use to describe that. Then rear ends him.
I'll have you know there was no contact. We have received confirmation. There was no contact after the initial
Still under pressure from Lance Stroll. He's gone a little bit wide there, but that's okay.
Max Verstappen very close to the back of the Aston Martin. He's going to try it on up the outside this time. Justin Freshbot
go up the inside.
He's safe on this occasion. What's happening behind him? We don't know because they've dropped really far back. Verstappen alongside Stroll.
Stroll on the grass.
They're still side by side. Max Verstappen forced onto the curb. He's going to have to go around the outside here. There's bits of
Lots
the Ferrari.
Of debris. Stroll holds the position. There's a massive train behind Justin Freshbot now.
Everybody getting scared.
He's not causing it.
Nicholas Latifi is in this train, so everyone is running for their lives right now. That's Justin Freshbot. He's moved up a position as Tsunoda drops to the back, just outside the points.
Slightly wide again from the Haas. Again, legal.
Let's see how much this Aston Martin closes the gap. He's got quite a lot of closing speed.
He's gaining. Justin Freshbot positions the car perfectly. Nowhere for Lance Stroll to go, and he stays ahead.
Lance Stroll.
There's more DRS. An incredible exit for the Haas out of that corner.
Lance Stroll confused not only about how he's not been able to get past the Haas doing the same move every single lap, but also how he's got away from him out of every single corner.
Box, box, box.
Radiant Slothz
here, retiring the car. Will he retire from Formula 1?
He's got Pierre Gasly just behind him. He takes a lot of curb on the way in, a lot of grass on the way in.
Almost hits the wall.
The resident gardener fuming at him right now for that disgusting move across the lawn. And it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Yuki Tsunoda, because although Tsunoda had a wing change, he is still in a much faster car.
Will Bottas get past?
There he is. There's Valtteri Bottas, his teammate.
Where's Tsunoda? He's quite far back. Will Radiant Slothz crash into Bottas for no reason?
Valtteri Bottas
He thinks about it.
Is he gonna let him through? Will he play the team game? Valtteri Bottas, disgraced after winning the World Championship, was handed a fake contract which moved into Alfa Romeo. He's not being friendly here. Radiant Slothz has to show him who's boss, even though he's got the TV pod of the number 2 driver. He's pushed him wide. He gets past. This is the onboard. The moment that Bottas made his intentions clear. A move in the braking zone there. Not on. Radiant Slothz opens the steering in appreciation of that move. As we rejoin this.
Will Lance Stroll go for the same move around the outside? Justin Freshbot must be confident he
He's
knows how
gone
to
to the
defend it,
inside. A complete shake-up. Never
Not much
before
room now on
seen.
the outside for Justin Freshbot. He holds on.
It's a drag race. Aston Martin versus Haas. An epic duel. One has DRS and unfortunately
squeezes the Haas off the track.
Showing his frustration. Here comes Verstappen as well. Justin Freshbot starting to struggle on 8-lap-old softs. He's gone wide. Verstappen up the inside. These two...
A risky move from Verstappen.
They have history. Verstappen up the inside.
He's hit the front of the Haas there, I believe. Justin Freshbot going to retire the car and probably leave Haas.
It's probably a good thing too, because look who's behind him. It's King Latifi, the man who with blood on every one of his 9 hands, as he allows Justin Freshbot into the pits with all of his limbs still attached. And we'll see where he joins, potentially last, as we see Tsunoda come around the final corner in the background. He puts on the medium tyres, although the tyres that they just took off the car are the medium tyres.
This could result in Justin Freshbot being disqualified if he's gone onto the same set of tyres.
This is Radiant Slothz. He's coming around the final corner. We want to see where he's going to come out in relation to Ocon and whoever else he was fighting. It was Tsunoda, it wasn't it? So we don't care about that. He got past somebody. And here he comes again. Esteban Ocon's still not pitted. Radiant Slothz coming around the final corner. Tsunoda within 2.5 seconds, hoping to get some revenge. Radiant Slothz back into the points. Mazepin ahead, still needs to pit. Ocon still needs to pit.
Ocon currently running P2. What a result this could be.
And we're rejoining this.
Lance Stroll, incredible.
Antonio Giovinazzi drops back in the pits. Unfortunately, though, Nicholas Latifi's in this battle, and Max Verstappen has got the overcut on Justin Freshbot, who's now under attack from Sergio Perez, who started the race at the back of the grid for some reason, potentially an engine penalty. And this shouldn't be any competition, because Sergio Perez, unlike the other drivers who have followed Justin Freshbot, is somewhat competent, even in an Alpine.
But instead, he sits behind the Haas into one of 2 main overtaking zones on this circuit.
Oh, he gets very aggressive. Oh, he tried to run the Haas wide. Unbelievable. Disgusting from the Mexican driver. Bullying a car that is much slower than his own. Unbelievable. We'll have to see the onboard of that in just a moment. Here it is. Justin Freshbot tries to turn in.
And the Alpine just hits the side of him.
Unbelievable.
That is another car to add to the list of people who have crashed into Justin Freshbot. It's a very long list at this point.
I think nearly every car on the grid has at least had a go at him. Yuki Tsunoda gained a few temps on Radiant Slothz. It looks like Ocon's come in. Carlos Sainz has come in. Dropped him back to 6th. Mazepin, for some reason, has stayed out, but we're not sure why. Nope, there he is, he's in. It's just the timing board is all over the place once again. And it looks as though Radiant Slothz has failed. Esteban Ocon has got the overcut. And Radiant Slothz now has to hold on to P9 ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. And
he's caught up massively.
5 laps still to go. He's going to have to do a Justin Freshbot defensive drive all the way around the circuit with a massive lock-up. Somehow, Yuki Tsunoda's had a terrible exit out of that corner, and he's not going to be able to gain anything over the other Japanese driver that is Radiant Slothz. Pierre Gasly and their other fellow countryman closing in behind. This is lap 16. Radiant Slothz. Let's see where the Ferrari makes its gains. Massive in the braking zone there. He pulls away on this small straight, but once again in the corners and on the brakes, the Ferrari gains quite a lot of time. The Alfa Romeo, not built for this kind of driving. More of a casual drive. Taken out on a Sunday morning. Take the grandparents to church.
Extend. That's a 5-second penalty. If it's not, you have to
Tsunoda at the outside.
Paying off the stewards. And Tsunoda lets to crash into him.
Radiant Slothz, 2 laps to defend from Yuki Tsunoda.
DRS up the hill for Tsunoda. Will we see a late move on the brakes? He thinks better of it.
Oh, it's a massive lock-up. Tsunoda's up the inside.
Tsunoda goes up the inside.
There might be damage on the Ferrari. Radiant Slothz looks back. The Ferrari gaining quite significantly there, but not able to make anything of this. Coming into the second half of the lap. This was the onboard of this moment for Radiant Slothz. You see Tsunoda takes advantage. Radiant Slothz blocks him. And they're going to come round. They're 11 seconds behind Esteban Ocon now, so absolutely no chance of scoring any extra points. This is for 2 points, so we're actually seeing a battle for something rather than just nothing. Tsunoda loses out on the exit of turn 1. He's got DRS open. He's weaving around pointlessly. Radiant Slothz out of battery. Massive lock-up again.
Lock-up again. Those tyres must be flat at this point.
Unfortunately, though, Tsunoda, once again, out of the turn 2. Not very good, and I've just had one of those Facebook notifications from a fake account as Yuki Tsunoda closes the gap. He's going to go for the outside. Oh, Radiant Slothz with an epic defensive move there. Cuts off Yuki Tsunoda's attempt. And that's surely...
once again.
Surely that's all. Sergio Perez also caught up another lap, and he would have been on top of these two, and it would have been the same thing we saw at the start of the race, just with the other Alpine. They come around the final corner. Radiant Slothz goes to crash into the wall, but thinks better of it. And we rejoin Justin Freshbot.
Still under pressure from Lance Stroll, who hasn't got.
Oh, he's got to the outside again.
Outside again. Justin Freshbot outbrakes him. Side by side. He's going to pull away here. But Stroll will get DRS. Slots in behind. Nicholas
Latifi gagging because he hasn't been able to crash into somebody this race. I think he's on the hard tyre as well. That's an interesting strategy from the AlphaTauri.
Will Justin Freshbot get to the end of the race and stay ahead of Lance Stroll?
It's a good
small gap between them.
Lance Stroll will have to try and overtake another corner that isn't turn 2. Or Justin Freshbot blows his own car up as they come into the penultimate corner. Oh, they finished the race! Once again, a teleporting ass. No wonder he's so quick. As we cut back to Radiant Slothz. Who is the driver of the day today? Who made the most overtakes? Of course, it was Sergio Perez.
Sergio Perez, he went from 20th to about 16th. An incredible drive.
Christian Horner really happy for Sergio Perez once again. The animation on the screen definitely not becoming tiresome to commentate over. Lando Norris wins again. Who would believe it? Red Bull celebrate with each other. They're pretending to be happy, but really they're just tired of seeing the same man win all the time.
As we all are.
As we come onto the podium, it was Hamilton got second place. Interested in George Russell, an all-British podium at the Red Bull Ring. George Russell will be in deep trouble with Helmut Marko for not getting P2 here. And Fuss is ignored by the cameras. And Lewis Hamilton shares a moment with Lando Norris. Absolutely lovely stuff. There we go. There we have it for today's race. Lando Norris picks up yet another win, followed by Lewis Hamilton and the other Red Bull of George Russell on the podium. Behind them, we had Daniel Ricciardo with another good finish, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Guan Yu Zhou, Esteban Ocon, Radiant Sloths, and then rounding up the top 10, Yuki Tsunoda. And over in the Drivers' Championship, Lando Norris and George Russell still lead the rest of the pack away, but Charles Leclerc has been let go from Ferrari and has joined another team. Then it's back to Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, Daniel Ricciardo, Yuki Tsunoda, who has also left the Ferrari team. Esteban Ocon, Guan Yu Zhou, and Sergio Perez make out the top 10. And over in the Constructors, Red Bull are massively ahead of Ferrari now, who are in a close fight with Mercedes for second. They're followed by McLaren, Alpine, Williams, Aston Martin, AlphaTauri, Haas, and Alfa Romeo. We'll catch you in the next one.